It seems like we're live. Awesome. So we're just gonna wait for just a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for yet another episode of PitchGround Live, where we have Vinay from Leadlabs, and today we're gonna talk about one of the biggest issues that I think every single company faces, which is more customers, more leads. And we're going to precisely talk exactly about the same. In this entire webinar, you would be able to learn three core things, which is one, how to improve your lead capturing by 40% more from your website, then get up to 500% more replies, and identify high prospects from outreach campaign. And lastly, close deals up to like 75% fast with the sales intelligence software. So we're going to be talking about all of these things. But before we get started, we have a ritual where for the first 5 minutes, we'll talk more about Vineet and all of those things. And prior to that, guys, all of you have a chance to win a free code of Leadlabs. Just make sure that you drop in all your comments in the QA section or in the comment section if you are anywhere on the social media, and make sure to take a picture or just share it across anywhere on the social media, any of your preferred social media, and make sure to tag us so that we know that you have taken that action. One winner is going to be getting a free code of Leadlabs. Also, the best question of the day will also get a free code for Leadlabs. So do not miss this out. Stick around till the end. We might have a lot of bonuses, a lot of amazing and fun stuff till the end. So let's get started. So we need, before we get going on everything and show how amazing the product is, who is Vineet and why did Vineet start Leadlabs?
I think that's a sure. Like, that's a perfect. Like, so thank you so much for that kind introduction. So with it, so that yeah, like, this is a wonderful opportunity to present like Leadlabs to the PitchGround community, and it's like thank you like, with it for taking the time and efforts to organize this. It's an amazing webinar for all of you today. Yeah, like I am super excited to get started, and what I will begin with a quick introduction about myself and like what I do. So my name is Vineet, and I'm the founder of Leadlabs. Yes, yes. And just before we move into like what Leadlabs is, so let's talk about like now how I built this product. So yes, and basically this product was built out of complete accident actually. So basically, like what you see right now is also end product. Like we were actually using also end product for one of our customers on a service-based model. So what happened was like really interesting. Okay, so we had put up a widget on one of our customers' website, and they were getting about like 1,000 people coming to their website. So it is not too high, not too low. So it's kind of medium. So what happened? So interesting thing was that we were so like, what software using the widget and asking about the product. And like people like what we did as kind of experimentation to kind of get like more leads from the website. So and then we decided to convert that concept into a product, and which has then evolved over since the last 1 year of product development and everything. And now we have more than 1,800 users on the platform, and like we've been also nominated by G2 as the top 25 software products to watch out in 2022. And basically we launched only on G2 last year of like June or July. So like we actually like wasted 6 months of collecting some customer reviews, but like we still made it up to the list. So super like G2 as well. Today, like I am super pumped to show you like to show you like so what the product is all about, and so how it's evolved from just lead capture to also closing deals and everything. So how we have added lead intelligence, sales intelligence, and so much more that you're going to find it like a lovely session. Yeah. Yes, and basically if everyone is ready, I can share my screen and like we can have a presentation and everything. So that will be perfect.
Perfect. Vineet, the stage is all yours, and we'll take up all the Q&As and at the very end. So I'll start curating all the questions that comes across like in any of the platforms. So the stage is all yours.
All right, so let me share my screen, and Udit, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can share see your screen. You might want to like put it on the full screen mode, maybe if possible. Just hit slideshow. It should go in.
Yeah. So slide.
No, it's at the top. It's at the top right corner, next to.
Oh, yes, I cannot see because of like Zoom video. Just awesome. Yeah. Perfect. So basically, so today, like, so we'll be talking about Leadlabs. So like wherein you can do everything from lead capture to closing deals, all using Microsite. So like this concept might be new to you all. So because like this is actually a proven concept based out of a lot of like market research and everything. So I will be showing you everything shortly. Yeah. So basically, like so yes, like we just finished a quick introduction about myself actually. So I'll be not repeating it to you because it's going to be boring again. Okay. So today, like Udit said, we'll be covering three main topics. So one is capturing more leads from your web pages. That could be websites, landing pages, blogs, paid ad campaigns, and whatnot. And then the second would be and second would be like, so how to get more positive replies from your outreach campaigns, as well as identifying high intent prospects from your outreach campaigns. Yes, like that might be a new topic for all of you also. So kind of like, please stay tuned when you come to like, so identifying high intent prospects, because like this is very unique to our software. And the third one and the final topic that we'll be covering is like how to close more deals and just like so how to also close them faster using sales intelligence provided by Leadlabs. So to begin with, so let's start with the first topic, that is like how to capture up to 40% more leads from web pages. So basically, it's, as you know, so if you are a B2B website, or basically if you're selling to B2B companies, yes, and make sure that Leadlabs is primarily made for B2B companies. So if you are a B2C company currently, I am really sorry that like we don't cater to that kind of a market currently, but like we can definitely bring more features where we carry it's like where we'll carry forward to the B2C market. So basically like this is really good if you are a service provider in the B2B market, or if you're a marketing agency, or basically if you are selling B2B products like SaaS products and so on. So basically, we see like what was the primary way of capturing lead magnets before, right? So which was just lead magnets. So kind of, as you know, lead magnets, like you ask people their contact information in exchange for some content. So like this was the primary way. So what did the visitors have to do for this? So first, the visitors had to go to a web page, and then they had to go to a lead magnet opt-in page where they had to fill up their name, email address, and a bunch of other questions. And then they used to get an email with a lead magnet. After getting the emails, they used to download the PDF via the email and then open the PDF editor. And basically then they had to actually read through that PDF or just like whatever they were getting as a part of the lead magnet. And after reading it, then they had to take the desired action, which is probably buying something or booking a calendar, yes, or maybe like booking a meeting on someone's calendar. So basically, if you see the journey of your visitor or your prospect that visits the website, it's so tedious. They have to probably visit 5 different pages, and they have to do 20 different clicks to just book a meeting or maybe buy something from your website. So don't you guys think it is like super hard for your visitors, right? So like, which is where Leadlabs comes in, like wherein we condense this entire process into one tiny widget, which we call it as an embedded microsite. So with Leadlabs, you can create an embedded microsite which covers this entire process into one single widget. So basically now the visitor does not have to go through 5 pages and 20 plus clicks. It's just one tab, one click for everything. So now I'll just be showing you a couple of examples of what embedded microsites are. So let us visit the link over here. So basically, if you just visit our website, you can see some of our microsites in action. So if you see like these are some of the microsites that can be put up on your website. So basically, if you see like today, video content rules. So probably like, as you guys know, like this is a kind of this kind of a proven fact today that like most people love watching videos versus reading something, right? So like which is where like Leadlabs leverages that marketing psychology and gives you the same manner of what people of what your visitors might like to consume content. Yes. And so basically, if you see like one example, right? So like this, these are all like examples of embedded microsites, which can be created using Leadlabs. So if you see the first example, so once when you click on the thumbnail, so now you can see a video.
Did you know?
Playing inside. So basically you could have a video followed by some images. And also you can have like calendars inside the widget itself. Don't you think this is super convenient for your visitor to actually do the desired action without going through a bunch of pages and shuffling back and forth with like multiple clicks? So like this is one example. And let's say another example, if you want your visitors to download something and book a meeting if they're interested with. Let's see this example. So basically now you can also add a lead capture form before anything. And the best part about Leadlabs, we have real-time email verification. Basically, if anybody tries to like put in a fake email, so we can detect it. And yes, and this is, I would like to also be very honest, because like so no tool is like 100% accurate. So sometimes so some fake emails also pass through, but just like so. But I guess like no, that's the game. So where like we kind of like filter 90% of the emails at least, so like which was not possible in the past. So basically like no, so let me show you a quick example of it. So let me fill up my name and let me try to put in a fake email. So if you see, our domain is leadlabs.app, right? So our domain is leadlabs.app. So like, which is a valid email address. But now if I try to put in a domain that does not exist, or maybe a fake email address, and if I try to go through it, it says, please enter a valid email. So that is how we filter out. And now if I put in the correct email over here, and now if I go through, so now it's giving
Did you know
option
you're actually
going through to the content, which could be videos, or it could be like images. You can have downloadables, you can have iframes, you can have surveys inside. You can have so many different things inside the microsite that you can make it like really, really compelling for your visitors. And after this, you can have a download. So basically, as a part of the like example, we're just putting like download an image or something, but it could be like a checklist, PDF, or yes, or it's like whatever you want to be. And basically, like we also have A/B testing of our widgets. So with A/B testing of widgets, so which means so now you can test what kinds of B2B lead magnets work on your website. So basically, if you have a couple of ideas, so now you don't have to keep changing it week after week, but now you can use Leadlabs' built-in A/B testing feature. So basically, if you see like this is how the widget looks for visitor A, but now if I just refresh the page, so see for visitor B, you can have a different widget, but because we're tracking based on the IP, so like so this widget is now fixed to me. But basically, so now if I open an incognito window or something, it's going to give me a different widget. So now you can also test your content with Leadlabs. So it makes it that much easier for you to see what kind of content is working for you and what kind of content your visitors love, so that like you keep optimizing the conversion rates better and better with a built-in A/B testing feature. And another beautiful feature is now you can customize your visitor journeys using like interactive widgets. So how this would look is, for example, once when the visitor starts the journey, you can so now your visitor can customize their path. So now they can choose what they want to really look into your website. So because let's say you're in the marketing field and you are selling two different products or two different services. So one could be lead generation and one could be CRO strategies. So now your visitor might be interested in one of them, but like, how do you know that as the business owner? This is where Leadlabs really helps you, because so now you can see what your visitor's path is, and based upon the path, you can kind of show the relevant content back to them again. So you can have a video, and just like within the video, you can have buttons, and from within the video, you can take them to a calendar and so on. So like this is how Leadlabs can really help you with what's happening. So, and like, so I would like to show you like one last thing within the product before we move on to the next step. So basically, once we log into our platform, basically, so kind of like this is how our platform looks, which is like very simple to use. So basically, it's not too complicated. So basically, when you log in, you are going to come to our like home screen over here. So once when you are in our home screen, right? So basically it's like very simple. So there is really nothing complex, not a lot of buttons here and there. So basically, so now because we're talking about lead generation, so there's a tab called marketing. And once when you come into your dashboard, you can see all these things. So now that we just like entered something on the website, right? So basically now you can find the leads here. So we just, so basically if you see like today is March 6th, and so you can also see all of the details of your visitor. So if you just saw that, like we just filled up a lead capture form on the website, so which is now being available to you as the business owner, and basically now you can see what Vineet from Leadlabs actually did. So kind of basically, if you see, right, like now, so we just saw part of the video and we didn't see a lot of the things. So basically, like we are not considering like we need to be great, basically. But basically now you can kind of see like the lead intelligence and everything going on over here. Just a second. So let me have a sip of water. Sorry about that. Yeah, well, it's a bit talking too much. So yeah, so basically, so now we can just like kind of see kind of like the lead intelligence as to what happened and everything over here. So what did we need to do on the website? So steps beneath visit and what was the lead engagement, date, time, and all these things. So basically now you have a lot of information about your lead over here. And basically, if you want to do any A/B testing, you can just click on the A/B testing tab. Let's say it's like within the software, and now you can kind of do let's say A/B testing and see what is working out, what is not working out. So basically, if you see like this is our demo account, so it's obviously like some of the metrics and just like some of the things like would not be great, but basically, if you get the concept of let's say A/B testing, right? So you can create a new A/B test and you can test out what kind of widgets work better on your web pages. So finally, like we are done with our embedded microsites, and let's move on to something more like interesting, which is our outreach campaigns, which will be our outreach campaigns over here. Yeah, so basically, so now like yes, and just like before we move into topic 2, suppose if you have any questions, please do leave your questions out here in the chat, and like we will like answer them like post the webinar, because I think that would be the best way for us to get a lot of questions in as well. Yes, or basically whatever or basically whatever is convenient. So probably so the best method I would say would be to answer the questions after the webinar. Okay, so moving on to the next topic is like let's see how we can get more positive replies and identify high intent prospects from outreach campaigns. So basically, yes, and basically, suppose if you are a business owner, right, there's a 99% chance that you are doing outreach campaigns to get more customers. And what does outreach campaigns mean? So it's either cold emails or LinkedIn messages, Twitter messages, Facebook messages, or just kind of like, you are reaching out to the prospect so basically you are reaching out to the prospects where they would be like a hangout. So it could either be via emails, or maybe it could be on any social media channel. Again, so basically, if you see like today, there are millions of people doing outreach campaigns for their businesses. So there is a lot of noise in everybody's inbox. But now, so it has become increasingly difficult to get more positive replies, as well as identifying the high intent prospects from the outreach campaigns. So if you see, most outreach campaigns are like a black box. So if you see, many tools only give you a very basic metric such as open rate tracking, or just like once when people reply to your messages, you just get a metric which is reply rate. And these are the only two metrics which most tools provide today, something like the open rate tracking and one more is the reply rate. But basically, so how do you actually identify the high intent prospects from these outreach campaigns? So which means if you sent about 1,000 messages or like 1,000 emails, how can you do this? And this is where Leadlabs comes into play. So with Leadlabs, you can do two things. One is stand out in the inbox by hyper personalization. And the second is to be creative. And second is being creative. So if you see, most normal emails and messages do not allow you to be creative to your full potential, because you can only enter text and images, right? You can't do anything more in emails or messages, because that's what they allow you to do, is just putting text and images. That's it. So so basically, if you want to be creative and send something else, it's very difficult for you to do that. So, and this is where again Leadlabs will help you solve with our outreach campaigns. Okay, and before we move on, so basically, so whoever is watching the webinar, so do put in like, what is your current positive reply rate? So basically, so as a rule of thumb, like this is how it varies, and like, so this is based upon some statistics, like, you know, so which I've got from a few reputed sources such as like Statista and SEMrush and like these kind of websites. So if you see, on an average, the positive reply rate is about 1 to 3% for most outreach campaigns. And if you're getting anywhere between 3 to 8%, you're above average. So which means you're doing better than 50% of the people out there. But if your positive reply rate is about 8%, you're probably better than 90% of the digital marketers out there, and you are doing amazing. And basically, and basically you can keep doing what you're doing currently. But for the people that are not getting these metrics yet, so let me show you how Leadlabs can really help you. So because with Leadlabs, we have got a lot of success with our outbound messaging. So one thing that I would like to say as the founder of Leadlabs, that is also helping people doing outbound messaging, is quality of email is better than the quantity of emails. So basically, some people may disagree to this. So I would say that basically, if you send emails which are personalized to your audience, so with about 100 emails, you could even get 10 replies. But if it is very generic, out of 1,000 emails, you could only get again about like 5 or 6 replies. So basically, you're just burning through your leads pretty quickly. Okay. But basically after that, so with Leadlabs, right? So basically, so the methodology of how we can do this is like record a 30 to 60-second video using a Chrome extension, and then you can customize a microsite, and then you can share this microsite in automation with tools such as like Apollo, Optics, Woodpecker, and also PitchGround's very own tool, which was created by an amazing founder. So with it, you can also use First Sales for this. Again, so it is an amazing platform. So like those who are using First Sales, Leadlabs works with First Sales as well. And then finally, so you can get more replies and identify high-end prospects from your outreach campaigns. So let me show you an example of an outreach microsite. So first, I'll just show you a quick example, and then we can create something on the go in under 5 minutes. So I will show you how we can create a microsite in under 5 minutes. Okay. So like we can also start a timer, and basically, like, let's see if I can challenge myself. So for the first one, so basically, if you see an example of an outreach microsite, so like this is an example of an outreach microsite, which is still not yet customized. With Leadlabs, we can customize everything dynamically. So basically, I can customize, let's say, like name equal to Vineet, and company name equal to PitchGround. Let's do that. So now if I do this, so now you see the microsite is already customized with the company name as well as with my name. So it says like, hi, Vinny, checked out your website and I noticed a few things worth making a video. So now we can add a video inside the microsite.
Hi, Akash. I wanted to make
So basically, so now we can add a video inside a microsite. You can add a CTA button inside the microsite, and basically you can also add links within our microsite. So basically, if you want people to send you a quick reply from within the microsite, so you can put in a link over here. So once when I click on the link, it's going to open my mailing client automatically. So it's like pretty sweet, right? And finally, within the microsite, so you can also add a lot of topics inside the microsite. So you can start with that, like the introduction video, and then you can kind of probably like pitch your service, like what is Leadlabs and everything. And one more is if people want to book a meeting with you, they can do so right within the microsite again. So you can embed a calendar link and everything. So basically, like, so kind of like this is actually one of the templates that we use for let's say ABM campaign. So where is like where we have our business development executive record a video for us. So once we record a 30 to 60-second personalized video, so then we give a very quick introduction of our platform as to what you can do with Leadlabs. And after this quick introduction, so we ask them if they are willing to book a meeting with us. And believe it or not, we have actually got a lot of people who have booked meetings with us using this very, very simple strategy. So basically, if you see, so kind of down, you can have CTA button, so which can redirect to URLs and everything. So you can put in any like redirect URLs and so on. Yeah, and basically, if you see like Leadlabs, we have over 50 reviews on G2, and we have been a consistent high performer on G2 in the last 2 quarters as well. Yes. And the best part about Leadlabs is it is lightning fast. So, hi, Akash. So basically, if you see like, so this is very good for your outreach campaigns, and this is all completely mobile optimized. So basically, it is optimized for like every screen size and everything. So basically, if you want to do anything, it's already fully optimized for you, and so on again. So kind of like this is fully optimized for all screen sizes. So now let's do a quick activity. So where we can create a microsite in under 5 minutes, 7 minutes, but basically before like focusing on speed here, I also want to show you what all you can add inside a microsite, because you can do so many things with our microsites. Yeah. So yeah, so let's go back to our app. Yes, and before I do that, so let me show you like what you can do with these microsites. So now that we had this link done, right? So basically, once the microsite link is done, so how do you actually use it in your LinkedIn message or something? So now I can just copy this, and then I can just open my LinkedIn profile. So once you opening your so once when you open your LinkedIn profile, so now you can personalize it to anybody. So basically, so now so let me actually like use the account of my COO, because like, I always use my account of my COO to kind of do all these demos. So basically, so now if I just like paste this, for example, I can customize with the name and everything. And if I just share it across, so basically, if you see like LinkedIn automatically pulls in a thumbnail and as well as the meta title of the microsite. So basically now, if you see this as a message in your prospects inbox, there is a very high chance that people would reply to it. So basically, suppose if your prospect's name was like Akash from Story Lane, for example, right? Because I just used let's say, an example thumbnail just before the webinar. So basically, if you can make it customized to the prospect, your prospect will definitely send you back a reply, because like this is so because like this is something really new, because your prospects wouldn't have seen something like this. And basically like this also shows that you have taken the time to do enough research like about your prospect and so on. So because like you've actually taken the time to customize a thumbnail, to add a logo, and once they click on this, you have also personalized the entire microsite like this to your prospect. So basically, if this does not get a reply with your prospect, so then probably nothing else will, because you have done everything in your power. So, and again, you should be doing the same thing for everyone else. So basically, if you just see that I just sent it to one person and they've already asked me to send my calendar to book a slot, because I've been testing a few microsites myself to see like what works and what doesn't work. So basically, so you can definitely use this in your outreach campaigns. And the best part is if you're using any automation tools like Galaxy or Lucia, you can customize it using their automations. So let me just copy this URL without the name and my company name. So once if I just take this and let me open my Galaxy account. So like I've not been using my Galaxy account for some while actually. So let me see what's happening. Yeah, so basically like within my Galaxy campaign over here, let's see. Yes, so I will just make a quick message template so that like you can see like this is how it is over here. So kind of how it works. So if you just use any automation tool, like this works for any automation tool, so be it Galaxy, Lucia, or just like whatever, like LinkedIn automation tool, it could be Expandy or like Lemlist, like literally anything. So basically, so let's say I'll just put like hi or something. Hi, yeah. So basically hi, and you can just put like any message saying like bumped into something like bumped into your profile and made a quick custom microsite for you. So if that's the message, and this is the line, and now this is the link. And now you can use automation to customize it for every single person without you actually having to do anything. So let's say like name equal to, and now you can use the variables like name equal to first name and company name equal to the company. So, and like we can just set a fallback. So let's say there's no company name. I'll just put something like your company. Just put something like your company. Let me just edit that again. Yeah. So basically, so now if you see, right, so now we just have a link which is already customized to each and every prospect on automation. So like this can be really helpful for you. Suppose if you also want to customize everything on the go. And like, so I want to showcase a beautiful feature that is coming up early next week. So you don't want to miss this. So like, so basically if you see like this is already, so what I'm showing you is our beta server. So obviously you don't have access to this. But just like if you see, like we are getting dynamic thumbnails next week. So which means so now you can add dynamic text inside your thumbnail. So once when I enable dynamic thumbnail, and suppose if this was a thumbnail, right? So now I can put something like hi name or something inside the thumbnail itself. And like I can change the color and I can also position it anywhere I want inside. So let me do it. I think this looks fine. And basically, if you want, you can change the font size as well. Let's say 18 is the font size. If you want to make it bold, anything you can do, and so on. So now this makes your job even more easier to personalize it on the go. So now like once when you kind of like put the UTM parameters in within the URL, such as the name, company name, industry, employer range, you can make any number of variables you want. You can also add intro lines and so on. So basically, like we have no limit upon the number of the UTM parameters you use. So your creativity is the limit here. So feel free to be as creative as possible with our microsites. So like this is what, so kind of like, so this is how you can customize the microsite within any LinkedIn automation tool. And similarly, you can also do the same thing for basically just like said for basically it's any email outreach tool. So basically it could be like First Sales, or maybe it could be like Apollo or anything. So you know what, like I don't have a First Sales account, but I really want to make a First Sale account. So I kind of hope it's with it will just like hook me up with one like First Sales account after this demo.
Yeah, definitely. I can just hand over and create an account.
Yeah. So basically, because like, so I just had like, Apollo's account already, like, so we'll just use like Apollo for this webinar, but for the next webinar, I'll be using First Sales account only with it. So yeah. So basically, if you just go into like Apollo or just like any other tool, right? So you can use their built-in editor to kind of do everything. Basically like, so let's say something like new sequence. Okay, so let's take something over here, demo or something. Yeah. So once when you take up, let's say anything, right? So now you can customize our microsite within let's say any let's say outreach tool. So what you can do is just take up the link over here again. And now you can just put something like hi. And obviously, like you can use the built-in variables over here. Hi, first name, and then you can add a link over here. And now you can again use the built-in variables provided by Alex Apollo. And company name equal to so on. Let's say company. And so on. Yeah, so basically like you can use as many variables as you, okay, this is name equal to first name, I bet. Yeah, so basically this is like this and so on. So kind of like you can use as many variables as you want, like within your, let's say, outreach campaign. So you could also add industry, employee size, let's say intro lines, anything you want. So basically if you're using a CSV file or basically whatever yes, also whatever variables you want, you can personalize your all the microsites within that. And you can also make this hidden. So if you just put something like click here to know more. Yes. And basically for those that are using the microsites, like, so I would suggest not to send any link within the first email because you want your, like, email deliverability to be good. So basically, so I would always suggest you to use a microsite from your second follow-up onwards and not in your first emails. Like, so this is a pro tip. Never use a link in your first email. So like, so I would obviously not say to use a link because just because like, so I am the founder of a microsite company or something like that. Obvious, like never send a link like within the first email. It can definitely harm your email delivery. It can definitely affect your email deliverability a lot. So let's say, so now we just want to like put in a link over here. So just a second. So I can also copy this and I can just embed it inside it over here. So now like so Apollo does like everything else. So basically, so now you have that long URL, which is this like which is perfectly hidden like into into a couple of words, and that's it. So once when you do this, the microsite is customized. So now you might be wondering like so how you can identify all these high intent prospects with just that link, right? But with Leadlabs, that is definitely possible. Because like once when you share these microsites with your prospect, you can see like so who clicked on these microsites. So when you go into your marketing and click on view my leads, and then when you go into your outreach campaign, you can exactly see what is happening inside the microsite over here. So basically, so now we saw that like this microsite was kind of customized with the name of Vineet with the company PitchGround. So basically, because I already opened it, sorry, there are a bunch of tabs over here. Yeah, so we can see it has already been recorded. So basically, if you want to give another name, so let's give another one so that links you don't have to like scroll back or something when you're watching this again. So Udit, and let's say company name PG, for example. So now I have just customized this microsite again. And now let's visit like so only one page. Okay, so now let's not see let's say any other page temporarily. Okay, so we have watched this so far. So now when you go into your dashboard and when you just refresh your page, you can already see it captured. So like Udit from PG is already up on the table because like they just opened the microsite. And now we can also see like what did Udit from PG see? So you see that we did not spend we spent very little time. We spent very little time like this, or maybe because like we are still live. So like so our backend tracking is still running and we haven't watched anything else, right? So we just only opened let's say introduction video. That's it. So now let's go back to our microsite and let's open everything once. So we are seeing this and we are also seeing the chat and everything. And so we are also open the calendar. And finally, once when everything is done, so now let's say Udit from PG is done watching the microsite. So let's close it. And now let's go back to our software here and let's refresh the page once more. So if everything is working, we should be seeing it live over here, and like this will change eventually. So now you see that Udit from PG has now completed all the steps, and also Udit from PG has also spent more than a minute on the microsite because my video was only 55 seconds long, and basically so within the remaining 6 seconds so Udit has seen everything. So we are actually like counting like the lead score to be as 100 because if Udit has spent a sufficient amount of time seeing everything. And finally, now you can also see the lead activity as the number of steps visit, like how many times you do that visit, like so each step and so on. And you can also see the lead engagement as to how much time was spent by a prospect on each particular step. So now you can identify all of these things with Leadlabs. So now if you are sending emails to about 1,000 people or 2,000 people per month, now you can get an idea of exactly how many people actually opened your email, so read through your content as well as saw your microsite. And now you can filter everyone by hot leads. So let's say out of 1,000 people, you have 60 hot leads or 70 hot leads. So now instead of sending generic email to these 60 to 70 people, create a separate email sequence for these people because they've really engaged well with your microsite and they might be one step away from booking a meeting with you or buying your service immediately. So now your conversion rate will be much higher because now you have researched a lot about your prospect before sending those personalized emails. And because you've removed them out of your generic email sequence, your conversion rates will be much, much better. So basically when I'll be contacting Udit the next time, I will say, hi Udit, so looked like you watched my entire video. Like, so did you have any questions? So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And so on. So now that Udit actually knows, hey, I actually watched the video and kind of thing. So basically, if he was actually interested, there's a very high chance that I would get a positive reply from him or maybe even get a meeting booked. So so this is how you can identify all of our this is how we can identify all of outreach prospects as well as your high-end prospects from our outreach campaigns. So this is how with Leadlabs you can get up to 500% more positive replies and identify the high-intent prospects from your outreach campaigns, and finally filter them out from our campaign and then create and just take them out of your generic sequence and then create a personalized sequence so that you can get more conversions with your prospects. Yeah. And the last thing, before I move on to the last thing, I was telling that so I'll just show you how to create a microsite in some simple steps. So it does not take long at all. So let's quickly finish that and then we can move on to the last part of this webinar. So once when you're on the platform, if you want to create a new microsite, it's super easy. So all you have to do is click on a new microsite. And basically, if you want to create a shareable microsite or it's an embedded microsite, so I want to create a shareable microsite, continue. And let's say, so basically we're just asking you this question so that you can filter them out easily. And then go to microsite builder. So once when you're inside the microsite builder, there are just 4 simple steps. So basically we guide you through each step so that like it becomes super easy for you. So basically I'll just give a name as webinar demo. And I'll also put in the same titles. So let's just to save some time. And I'll just put something like, here's a demo on how to create a microsite, on how to create a shareable microsite. So basically, like, why is the meta title and meta description important? Like, this is super important as this is super important if you're actually sharing this microsite on LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, and these kind of things, because it's all these social media channels generate the link, meta title, meta description, as well as the thumbnail dynamically. So make sure that you don't enter something random, because this can affect what your prospects see, and basically this might impact your conversions as well. So make sure it is meaningful so that like you get more click-through rates from your prospects. And then you can upload a thumbnail. So let me just use any thumbnail that I have. But basically for all these thumbnails, I use Canva to create these thumbnails. Because if you actually see my system, I always have Canva open, and kind of like said, I have just like, so made this just like a bunch of thumbnails with me always. So if I just want to create something really quickly, I just like clone something and just make a thumbnail over here. So basically, if you just see, right, like I said, I always have a few like example thumbnails that I already have. And basically, so these are the thumbnails that I quickly like make a few changes with, and like we like we are good to go pretty quickly. So like we have uploaded thumbnail, and basically we have finished the first step. It was easy, right? So I know after finishing the first step, so now we move on to the step 2, which is the media library. So basically, so our media library, so you can consider it as your local Google Drive or your local Dropbox file or something like that. So like this is where you can have all of your files at one place. So over here you can upload images, videos, files, presentations, PPTs, and it's like everything that you want to use. So once when your files are uploaded into the media library, you can keep reusing it then for all of your future microsites, be it embedded microsite, shareable microsite, or the sales microsite as well. So which basically I will be covering in the next topic of this webinar. So once when you upload these files in the media library, it makes it very convenient for you to keep reusing it them multiple times. So once when you have uploaded everything, and let's move on to the next step. So which is where you create the actual microsite content, the main microsite content. So with Leadlabs, you actually have so much options to create your microsite. You can add text, videos, PDFs, images, iframes, calendars, Google Docs, Trello, Google Sheets, Forms, Slides, Typeform, Airtable, Miro, YouTube, Vimeo, Figma, Drive, Dropbox. So basically, if somebody recorded that, please do send me, because I think we can make it into a rap music. So, so yeah. So basically, so you can kind of make your microsite content with literally like so many options are there, because with just iframe options, you can use alternatives to Calendly, Google Doc, Trello. So basically, if you're using so any of your like lifetime tools, lifetime deal tools, you can also use that. Okay, so let's add a quick thing. So let's add like an introduction video. So, and now you can choose where you want the position to be in the microsite. So if you want the video to come first, so just put step position as 1 and just set the status to publish. Now click on video. So once you click on video, there are 3 ways to do it. You can either put in a video iframe, or choosing the file from media library, or choosing a video URL. So I'll choose video. Yeah, so I'll choose file from media library because it's easy, because I already have something, and I'll just choose a file. And now I can also add text above and below the video if I want to. I'll be like, what's this quick? Okay, so what's this short? Oh my God. What's this short explainer video about Leadlabs? So you can add any text and you can change the font. You can change the font style. You can add H1s, H2s, and everything. And like once when that is done, you can click on add step. And you can click on add steps. Once when that is done, you can continue to add more steps. So let's say we finish the video and now we want to add some image. Yes, or basically if you want to add some file, let's add some image. So let's say it is some testimonial. For example, I want to add a testimonial, add step position, and then I choose an image. And now I choose from the media file again. So I have a G2 review here, which I'll be doing. And now I can add a step. So that's good. That is done. And once when this is done, so let's say if I want to add a Google Doc or something, so I could add a Google Doc, I could add a Calendly. So you guys have already seen a Calendly, but maybe you guys have not yet seen a PDF. So let me add a PDF now. So let me add something like a case study PDF or something like that. Yeah. So, but I'm not sure if I have an exact case study PDF, but I'm just going to name it as case study for now. Let me see what PDF I have over here. Wait, how did I get my contacts again? Interesting. I don't know what Safari is doing there. Okay, so basically I'll just add some PDF that I have over here. And once when this is done, yeah, so basically if you see like similarly, you can add any number of steps you want. So there are two ways to use it. So if you want to show the step with the name of the title, so if you want, you can show it as step title, or basically if you want to show it as icons, you can show it as icons. Yes. And basically, so you can also preview the microsite at any time you want. So if you want to see how the microsite would look on a desktop, so just click on this icon over here, and you can see it as like, so this is how the microsite would look on a desktop with whatever you have created here. So basically, we see like, so this is some placeholder text, which is still not yet changed because that comes in the next step. So we have an introduction video. So wherein we have,
did you know
then we have the video here, and then we had this image over here, which is kind of like a testimonial, which is not actually a testimonial, unfortunately. And then we had some kind of a PDF over here, so which is not a case study as well, because I've just given the name as case study. And so now we have the PDF. So like this is how the microsite would look like. And so now you can also like put in, you can also put in the lead engagement time. So like, this time is used to kind of calculate the lead engagement score. So basically, suppose if this microsite takes, let's say, anywhere between 30 to 90 seconds to consume, I would put like 30 to 90 seconds. So what Leadlabs would do, if the prospect is spending anywhere between 30 to 90 seconds, we are going to consider them as a good lead because they have spent the desired amount of time that you have just set over here. So once when this is done, so let's go on to the last step, which is the Microsite Aesthetics. So now you can kind of customize this with your own creativity. So you can customize this with like hi name. So you can kind of use the first name. So basically we have like 3 variables which are already built in, which is name, company name, and email ID. But if you want to add any other variable, feel free to use any other variables such as, let's say, industry, let's say intro line, let's say employee size, anything works. So, but just make sure if you want to add a variable, you make sure that you add like a double curly braces, and then you can add variables such as, say, intro line, or basically the industry name, employee size, and whatever variable name that you want to give. So make sure that you add the curly braces. So you can add like hi name, and then you can customize like something like love the work that you are doing at company name. something. Yeah. And once when this is done, you can be something like feel yeah feel free to quick start a chat with me here. So yeah, basically this is I don't want this to be in it's a H1, so I just make it to normal. And you can also add like so links inside our microsite. So I can just add and insert a link. So basically, so if you want somebody to send you a mail dynamically, so you can use a thing called mail to. So this is actually pretty handy and works really good. So you can do mail to hello with leadlabs.app. So like this will open the mailing client of the prospect. And I'll just put it in underline and put it in blue color so that it looks like a link. And then you can also customize the footer, such as Leadlabs company name, or basically whatever footer you want. If you want to add links to your privacy policy, terms and conditions, you can add anything. And after this, now you can also customize the background color of the microsite. So now let's say I'll choose this as my background image. So if you want, you can use like one of our built-in images. So basically, if you want to upload your own background image, feel free to do anything. So basically, like we provide all the options. And once when that is done, so if you want, you could also choose if you want to use lead capture, you could use lead capture within the microsite. But basically, suppose if you don't want, you can just like skip the step. And now you can also add a CTA button inside a microsite. So if you already can change the thing like something like hear it from our customers, for example, and I can change the button color. So let me change the button color to what I have over here and the button text color to white. And if you want, you can either redirect with the URL, or you could also use the button to be a downloadable. So which is also very handy if you want to provide more value to the person by providing them a checklist or some kind of an ebook or a guide again. So, and now we can just like send them to any website. So I'll just add our own website for now. That's it. And done. So I'll come edit and save. And all this is done. And basically, if you want to showcase your logo, you can showcase your logo. If you don't want your company logo to be showcased, you can hide that. And there's also about Leadlabs branding. So if you wish to support the platform, you can also enable Leadlabs branding. If you don't want, feel free to disable the branding. But basically, I would love to get your support on spreading the word of Leadlabs. So if you can, make sure to keep the Leadlabs branding on. So once when this is done, so now you can preview how the microsite would look to your prospect. So now, as you see, so there is no variable names because we have to provide the variable names. But basically, without this, you can just make sure that anything else looks like as per your expectation. And basically, if you want to change anything, so feel free to change. So now you see this entire microsite while I was explaining maybe took about 9 minutes or 10 minutes because I was actually explaining to you. But if I was not explaining, I would have finished this microsite in under 5 minutes. So like once when you get the hang of how to create a microsite inside Leadlabs, you can create beautiful as well as mobile optimized microsites in under 5 minutes. So it is not possible in any landing page builder or like a website builder, because you normally spend hours and hours building one page because you have to customize so many things, a lot of designs and everything. But like we have handled everything for you, and like we have made it like super easy for you again to kind of like optimize everything with Leadlabs. So because like, so this is what your prospects need to see. All it needs to be simple, beautiful, elegant. So which we do, and basically it's also lightning fast. So now let's see if this microsite can start collecting leads for us. So now I'll just copy this and put it on a new URL. And now let's say like name equal to John and company name equal to, no, I actually like Marvel. So I'm going to put something like Tony and company name stock. Yeah. So basically it's yes. And basically if you're a Marvel fan, raise your hand down. Good to know a Marvel fan as well. So now we have company for Tony from Stock Industries. So now we are like, hi Tony, love what you're doing. It start was a short explainer video. So now we have the video coming up over here. Did you know? So now we have the video, and then you also have a testimonial, and then you have a case study as well. So once when you're done, so once when Tony is done watching this, he can close it. And now inside Leadlabs, you can go again into marketing, view my leads. And then if you go into outreach campaigns, you can see Tony from stock, open this. And now you can see exactly what happened there. You can see exactly what our Tony was. So as we went through all 3 steps, we watched there. And then you can see a lot of time was spent on the video, testimonial, and then the last thing, which was the case study. So like this is how easy it is to use the microsite and identify like who clicked on the microsite and everything. So, and finally, moving on to the last part of the webinar. So I would not take a lot of time. I would just take only about another 10 minutes maximum. So now we'll be moving on to the last part, which is like so how to close deals up to 75% faster with sales intelligence. So basically, if you see a sales microsite, because you've already seen the outreach microsite in great detail, our sales microsite is very similar, but our sales microsite is just amped up a little bit with a little more features, which the sales teams need to close deals faster. So how can you close fast? So how can you close deals faster with a sales microsite? So one thing is create a beautiful sales proposal with 50 plus tools in 10 minutes. So basically, as you saw, you can add a bunch of tools, and with the iframes and everything, you can add a lot of tools again. And then you can create individual links for all stakeholders. So, so this is unique to only sales microsites, which I will show pretty soon. And then you can understand your buyer, their interest and actions, and be readily available when your buyer is active, and finally close deals up to 75% faster. So now I'll just show you an example of a sales microsite. So it is very simple to our outreach microsite, but like I said, it is just amped up with a few more features. For example, you can make virtual sales rooms like this with Leadlabs. So just imagine when you had to share something with your prospect, you were sending long emails with like 7 different attachments or 8 different attachments and so on, right? So basically like that was super stressful to both parties, because now you had to exchange all these attachments, all these emails and a bunch of different things. And now you did not know if your prospect was actually opening that email, when your prospect actually looked at the email, and what your prospect's actions are, or just like what your buyer was doing after seeing that email. So basically, you don't even have any sales intelligence to kind of help you take the deal forward. So this is where Leadlabs really comes into play. So because as you saw within the lead intelligence, so similarly with sales intelligence, you can see all of them. So because you have already seen it's like how our outreach microsite looks, right? So similarly, you can make a sales microsite with an introduction video, and you can add features like this. So you can add tables, and then you can add product decks. Okay, so maybe like so this like Google Slides link is broken on like what I added. And then you can add pricing tables again. So you can add pricing tables if you're sending your pricing services. And then if you want, you could add custom proposal documents over here. It's inside the microsite over here. So you can just put in like a formal quotation over here again. So it's more easy for them to see everything. And then you can add testimonials inside as to what your people have said, case studies. And finally, if they have any questions, they can always book a meeting with you on the platform. And like within the CTA, suppose if you're using let's say any quote to cash softwares, you could also put in that, or basically if you want to put in your PayPal link or Stripe link over here, Wise link, these kind of things, you can just embed the payment link within the CTA. So it makes it very easy for a prospect to get started. So and now I wanted to show you a couple of features which is unique to our sales microsite. So one is a reply button. So now this is not there for an outreach microsite, but only there for the sales microsite. So now your buyers can send you an reply back to your email with an inbuilt mailing client inside the microsite. So they are free to change anything over here. So it can be like Yes, and basically, if you were the just like, so Udit had shared me this, I would be like, Mr. Hi over there, like, thank you for sharing. Then let's say I had a query about that, so basically, I can add up my query, I can send regards, and I can just click on the reply. It's as easy as that. And another thing is your prospect can also kind of like share this microsite with their colleagues and with also with like so other decision makers over here. So all they have to do is like just put in the to address, which is their colleague's address, and basically they're free to change the subject and they're free to change the body as well. So like we have just put in a temporary body which your prospects are all is like which is like which basically your buyers can change on the go. So like these two features are unique to sales microsites. And one other feature in pertaining to sales intelligence is, okay, so basically like when you move into the sales part of Leadlabs, like this is how the dashboard looks like. So basically like you have very easy to consume metrics such as the number of views on your sales microsites and what is your deal status and like how many active deals you have, how many hot deals, expiring deals, and the lost deals. So basically it is the exact same process to create a sales microsite, or we call it a deal. So if you just click on new deal, right? So it just comes to the 4-step builder again. It's literally the same process. So it's super easy. So there is no learning curve at all for you to use a sales microsite. So once when you created a sales microsite, and so now you can, and now this is where we create something new once. So basically like once when you create and get deal link, so you can create custom links for each of the stakeholder involved in your deal. So I can just put, let's say, so I can just say, so Udit at pitchground.com, and basically like said, yes, and basically Leadlabs automatically finds the name and company name and so on. And now I can just click on shorten link if I wanted to. So basically, so now I can see like, so what all emails that I've created. So one was to the actual founder, the story lane founder, and now one more to Udit, basically. And now I can just share this link with the prospect. So let's say I am sharing this link with Udit, and now so Udit has actually opened this from his email. So once when he has opened it, so now I can actually see whatever Udit just saw. So like he can see all of these things over here. So we can see video, Leadlabs, calendar, and so on. So like we can add a bunch of various things over here again, so on. So once when this is done, right? So we can come back to Leadlabs, and now we can again go into view my deals over here. And now, like similar to lead intelligence, we have sales intelligence or deal intelligence. So now I can see exactly like what let's see over here. But with deal intelligence, there are a few things that are unique here. So one is we track every single session that has been seen over here. So basically, if you see with where I stay in India, so it is currently like 10:41. So like we have a session over here as Monday, March 6th, like it's 22:40. So which is just a few seconds from now. And basically, so now you can see like what all we saw over here. So basically, if you are the director of sales, or basically if you're the head of sales, or just like account executive, so like wouldn't this information be so critical for you now that you know exactly what your prospect has seen? And let's say your prospect spend a lot of time on, let's say something like the pricing step. So basically, if your prospect spend a lot of time on the pricing step, it means that they might be a little bit hesitant on the pricing. So you could probably close the deal by giving them a small discount. So like this is how you can use a deal intelligence to close the deals faster. So now so let us open this link once more. So let's go back so that you can quickly have a look at it. So how all the sessions would work again over here. So I'll just go into links. I'll go into manage links. So I'll just copy link, and then I'll just open this link again. Now I'll just open this link again over here. So, and wait, is my internet stuck? No. Yeah. Now opening this link again over here. Yeah. Finally, so now we have this link open again, and it's Udit from PitchGround is just having a look at it again. Hi Akash, I wanted to make this quick video. So all this is done. So once we are done with it, we can again go back to our app over here. Excuse me. Yeah, and now we can see what it see again over here again. And now we can see two sessions coming up over here. So one was the most recent session, which we just saw right now. And the other session was a couple of minutes ago. So if you see, so now you can see when your buyers actually saw your sales proposals or basically pertaining to your like digital sales room in the past. And like this can give you a very good understanding on like whether your prospects are still interested in your deal or whether they're checking out on your competitors or not. And now you have actionable like intel so that you can use this data-driven process to kind of close deals faster. So now this is what you can do with our sales microsite. So I know I just wanted to show you a few features which are coming up which are coming up early next week. So like, so this is again our kind of like beta server that I'm showing you. So kind of like we are basically like so having a chat option inside the microsite. Now this is a most let's say awaited feature. So this is so basically, so this chat option inside the microsite is the most awaited feature, and like this is my personal favorite of them all. So basically, now you see that like we have a chat option. Yes, and basically we see like so this is a Google Doc. So basically, somebody was it's like curious to see how a Google Doc would look like. So we have like a Google Doc over here, which is just like read-only format. So now basically your prospects now don't know where this Google Doc is hosted. And like, so this is actually pretty good for you to put in like quotes and proposals as well if you are like a Google fan. So now within the chat option, so now we have the chat option over here, right? So now if you click on that, we have inbuilt chat inside the microsite. So now you can send to and fro messages to your prospect inside the microsite itself without having to rely upon anything else. And like this is where it becomes super easy for all people involved in the deal to kind of like talk and just like talk asynchronously on the microsite, and that they can close deals on the microsite. So like this is super convenient. And another feature that is coming up early next week is if somebody is live on the microsite, you get an instant notification across various channels such as emails and like web-based push notifications, as well as like in-app notifications saying that a person like XYZ from company ABC is currently live watching this deal, or basically person ABC from company XYZ is currently live on deal name. So basically now you being a part of the sales team, you can go on live on the microsite and answer their queries immediately so that you can close deals faster. This is by far the biggest drawback of sales team, is that they are not talking to their buyer at the right time to close the deal, and Leadlabs will help you solve that to close deals at lightning fast speeds, because now you will actually be notified whenever your buyer is live on your deal, so that you can go in and just wave at them, or just like say like, Mr. Hey, like I am live over here, like you just let me know if you have any questions. And that actually prompts your buyer to kind of ask questions about your proposal that you have sent them, and finally help you closing deals much faster. So like this is what you can do with Leadlabs. So basically with our microsites, basically, your creativity is the limit here. We provide like now, so as much flexibility as possible for you to add literally anything on the microsite. And basically, so the microsites are made to be really simple so that you can create them in under 10 minutes and finally get results quickly as well. So we are not like landing pages, something like that, which takes like hours and hours to create. So we are microsites with we are microsites collecting a lot of intelligence for you on the back end so that you can take action driven decisions for your business. So now just to kind of summarize like everything over here. So like I would like to summarize everything by just saying, where can Leadlabs be used again? So I would say Leadlabs can be used on websites and landing pages, paid ads, and blogs. So like this is pertaining to our embedded microsites. And then you can use it on LinkedIn and Twitter messages and cold emails if you're doing outreach campaigns. And finally, closing deals faster. You can use our sales microsites, or basically you can create deals for sales enablement. And finally, and like, just to kind of conclude it all, with Leadlabs, you can get up to 40% more leads from your web pages. You can get up to 500% more positive replies from outreach campaigns. This is by far the biggest positive thing that we have seen from our customers. And finally, you can close deals up to 75% faster with sales microsites. And basically, if you see, like we keep doing feature updates week after week, and and which is why we have been nominated by G2 as one of the top softwares in like 2022 to kind of like look out for 2023 as well. Basically, like, make sure you get your hands on a lifetime deal, because like this will be the last time we'll ever be offering lifetime deals. And do let me know if you have any questions. So basically, like one last thing I would like to say is I am really sorry if I bored any of you today, but basically, so I just hope it was an informative session to all of you, and maybe you just learn like something out of this webinar. So thank you all for being a part of this webinar again today, and it's over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vineet, for that wonderful webinar. I think there was a lot of new things. I think a lot of new people might have learned about. This is fantastic, especially I would say there are a lot of questions coming in, but let's just dive into those questions before I like start talking and start sharing why, because I think a lot of time went into the webinar itself. So I think let's take up some of the questions so that people are not waited. And then we can dive into some of the nice brainstorming session for the last 5 minutes. So there's one question coming in that do you happen to have any sort of pixel integration done for any of the for Facebook or Google Ads, Pinterest, or Snap? These platforms basically where you can basically track where the conversions are happening, and you can use it sort of as a lead generation platform directly and just start pushing the traffic here.
Yeah, like, so that's a very good question. So like, so we do have like Facebook Pixel as well as like Google Pixel. So within already like beta server currently. So we are just like so testing it for just for some of the final tweaks. So probably like, so that should be live in the next like 2 to 3 weeks at maximum. Like, so I would say 3 weeks at maximum. So because like we have already finished the integration completely. So we are just like so testing it for like so all possible scenarios and just making sure that we don't miss any conversion, because you guys have paid a lot of money for the ads. We don't want to miss anything for you. Yes, like we'll definitely be starting with Facebook Pixel and Google Pixel, and like based upon yes, and just like based upon the future feature requests, we'll be adding in more.
Awesome. Next question is can we also add any sort of JavaScript? I think there was a suggestion that was coming in that they would love to add something like Hotjar within the platform, so they can actually track the entire user journey. While there are analytics available, but if there is a drop in any step, for an example, or any page in specific, right, user actually want to see what happened. Like, was it the copy that's the issue, or was it people trying to fill something, or maybe there could be an ad blocker. Very often we have seen that people using like hundreds of Chrome extension today, and some extension could be blocking something. So in such a case, like what and how is Leadlabs handling these things?
That is also a beautiful question. So basically, like, we don't currently allow JavaScript like say, embedding because of like security concerns. One, and then the second thing is like so that would also slow down the microsite because we're loading a lot of JavaScript as well. But but basically, it's a very good question as basically to kind of see the drop off rates. So because like I said, I actually skip that aspect because like I said, it would just take a little bit more time. But basically, like with our platform, similar to Hotjar, you can kind of track exactly what is happening. So
So
yeah,
is
so
it just heat map tracking or is it session tracking as well that you guys do?
So basically like one thing is like we track the content funnel. So basically if you have like 5 steps or something, we show how many people went to step 1 to step 2, step 3, and like where the drop off is, so that you can see that like what step that people are not interested in, so that like you can kind of like tweak it to make it better again. So for example, if you click on a, like, analytics button over here, so you can kind of get a basic overview on the number of views, the leads, the total conversions and everything. And within the visitor intelligence that we have over here, so you can kind of see like a visitor engagement funnel as to kind of like so how many people went to step 1 and then how many people went to step 2 and what was the completion rate, the like engagement score and so on, so that like you know whether if it is working or not working, or just like where the users are dropping off and so on.
I have a suggestion over here for you, Vineet. Why don't you do this? Why don't you integrate Microsoft Clarity, which is like 100% free, and you can probably add that JavaScript as async,
Mhm.
and you can just copy their code for their website, and they can just add that. The reason behind that is while this analytics is great, you can see the drop-off rate, but why that drop off is happening, I feel is very important for marketers because
Mhm.
again, majority of the time I see this being very effective when we are doing lead generation via ads directly versus placing it in blog. Those are long-term goals, but if our
Correct.
focus is to kind of like drive immediate traffic and immediate leads, then I feel the best way would be to like really understand where and why the leads are dropping, because
Mhm.
many a times it's generally the copy, right? Our copy is bad, or copy doesn't resonate to people, and these are like some of the reasons why. So it just helps us track. So I feel like maybe that async Microsoft Clarity can be possibly integrated.
So yeah, like so that is like a very good suggestion. So like we'll just pass it on to my like, engineering team and see what they can do. So yes, like so which is what like said, I kind of like usually tell people. So basically, if people are dropping off, so like people should go and see like what happened between the 2 steps, and most likely, like you said, it's because of the copy or
Yeah.
because it's of the content. And
Correct.
while like a lead labs doesn't specifically tell you like why or what happened, so basically it's up to the users to kind of go and tweak it themselves by just thinking, saying like, oh, okay, fine, this might be a probable cause, or like something else might be a probable cause. But like what you said is actually a really good suggestion. So like we'll definitely see if we can
Well,
also
we being a
improve.
marketer, it's better not to figure out and actually trust the data.
Yeah,
And because ultimately data is everything. The data cannot lie in the end. Okay,
absolutely.
I'll move on to the next question. The next question is, can we use custom link shortener, or the app has something default?
So basically, if you want, you could use a custom link shortener if you want, but basically, like we have made it similar to like a Bitly link. So if you see something like a Bitly link, yes, like where basically like the Lead Labs differs from Bitly link is like we're only 2 characters more than a Bitly link. So if you want to make it further shorter than that, feel free to use like say any link shorter. But basically, if you see like say all our links are very short because like we just have lead.li/c and just followed by only 6 characters, so that like we have made sure that it is as short as possible. But basically, if you want to use any link shorteners, totally possible. Feel free to use any of them.
Awesome. I'll move on to the next question. Uh, chat. What are some specific examples of how businesses have successfully used Leadlabs microsites to capture high intent leads from outreach campaigns, and how has the platform's actionable deal intelligence helped these businesses close deals faster to and improve their ROI?
Okay, so basically, so I would like to answer this in like 2 parts because the question is also in 2 parts. So it's asking like, so how are you able to identify them high intent leads or some examples? So basically, like we have seen like most businesses using the platform to actually use videos in their microsites to kind of gain the prospects trust and to also stand out of the inbox. So basically, if you see like Leadlabs, we have a built-in Chrome extension as well. So which can be used to record videos and be directly saved onto the platform. So like you don't need, let's say, any other third-party tools like record a video and then save to the platform. So it makes it that one step or two steps more easier to kind of record a quick 30-second video directly from your Chrome extension and save it to the platform. So to kind of stay out of the inbox. So yes, this can take about like 4 to 5 minutes for, let's say, ABM based campaigns. So let's say that is like one of the best ways that people are standing out of the inbox is because these like thumbnails and everything, it's very customized to the prospect when it goes onto their LinkedIn messages or something like that. So it's something unique that they might have probably not seen many times. So like, so basically they're just curious. And because you've actually recorded a quick video for them, there are very high chances that they at least have the courtesy to like reply you, or like, so at least yes or no if they're not interested as well. Yes. And basically moving on to the second part of the question for pertaining to deal intelligence, right? So with Leadlabs, like many sales teams did not have a lot of intelligence before. So basically, if you see on an average, let's say account executives send anywhere between 10 to 40 different links and attachments before the deal is closed in the mid-market range or also enterprise range. So I'm not entirely sure within the small business range. So there might be about like 5 to 10 links shared, but just like so as the deal size increases, like there are like more stakeholders in, so there are more questions coming in, so more attachments and so on. So basically, as a part of the sales team, you want to know like, so which stakeholder is active in that? So which is the missing piece for closing the deal? So because like you might have interacted with stakeholder A, but then stakeholder C and D might be more interactive, and like, so they might not know that because they never had that intelligence before. But basically with Leadlabs, you can exactly see like, so who's actively viewing it and like, so who is not viewing it, so that you can reach out to the right person at the right time to close deals faster.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vinny. But before we move forward to the other questions, guys, you can grab Leadlabs on Lifetime Deal. You can check it out. Just head to pitchground.com/product/Leadlabs, or you can just go into the deals. You can just search for Leadlabs over here and you would find it right over here. It's literally just $49. You can grab it. You can create 35 immutable shareable microsites, which is a lot, by the way. If you think 35 is low, trust me, actually make it and drive traffic and you will see 35 is a lot. 20, I also 12,000 visitors is a lot. That if you translate to paid ad campaign, we're talking about at least $10,000 worth of ad campaign minimum, right? So this is a lot, just to let you guys know. Also 3,000 leads is again a lot, because if you're getting leads on Leadlabs, I feel generally you will get over 10% conversion minimum, because people are going through steps, people are going through processes, they are checking out on things, they're getting more information. So the conversion is also going to be high, because this is how you get high intent leads, is when they actually take a complete step. And so just to give you an example, you might have seen a lot of real estate ads. Now, there are two people. One who just fill the form just for the sake of having fun, because they just want to know the prices. And the second is someone who would actually visit the site, regardless if they want to buy or not. But if they visit the site, that's a high intent in a form, in an action when you have generated a lead. And that is the most important part, that they have taken more steps, they have taken more action. Similarly, over here as well in Leadlabs, people have taken an extra step or more action compared to just a typical standard landing page forms that you see, because they're getting more information, they're getting precise information at the same time, all under one roof. And this is where you will see the conversions happening a lot more. And this is where the high intent word comes into picture. And that's how you drive higher intent sales. So again, and at the same time, there's also like 1,200 real-time email verification. This means that if someone is trying to enter a fake email just so that they can check out who they are, what this is all about, then at that stage they would be disqualified. And then I think the best feature probably is A/B split testing, which is, I think, the heart of any marketing that you do. You need to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So A/B split testing is something that's available. So again, it's just $49. I would say grab it, use it, And I think within just 1 or 2 weeks of running ads into this, you should be able to make your money back. If it takes you longer than 1 week, then you probably need to focus on your marketing before getting any of the products in general, right? Anything else, you need to focus on that initial marketing side of yours. But if you have nailed down a bit about your customers, if you know and understand that, if you got a good active business going on, I think this is a fantastic investment that you can make. And again, you can literally make your ROI back in less than a week's of time. It shouldn't even take a week, to be very honest. Like, estimate the very most, if you are generating anywhere from like 15, 20 leads per month, even if you're doing that, you should be seeing like some great conversions coming in. The moment you have your first conversion, you'll probably see like 100x to like possibly like even 1000x ROI on just your investment. And if you're looking for higher embeddable sites and more traffic, if you have like a lot of traffic coming in, then you can potentially opt for like a bigger plan. Check out what works out the best for you. The plans are extremely flexible depending upon what you really need. So yeah, it's all up to you now, and we'll come down to the rest of the questions meanwhile. Next, so Andrew is appreciating the presentation. He loved how detailed the presentation is with regards to how you have done. So comments on that, Vinit. Let me go ahead and take up some more question. Vinit, one of this question is coming in with regards to security aspect. How do you handle GDPR? Because whenever it comes to any lead generation in general, and when people are driving, they're always skeptical about the data, right? How do you really handle and trust? How do people trust the data that they are sending the traffic to? So how do you answer that?
So yes, so that's a very good question. So basically, like now within the microsites, when you put in a lead capture form, like we do have an option to like request for user consent before giving the email. So without yes, and basically suppose if the user consent like tab is not yet checked, and basically somebody tries to submit it, so like we won't pass that information back to that like the Leadlabs business account. So because that user has not yet given their consent, so they need to manually provide the consent. So after filling out their details, saying that they saying that the business can like utilize their contact information for other marketing and sales related activities, and there should be a terms and conditions like link and so on, like whatever is needed for GDPR. So basically, like we do have that option within the lead capture form, is that they need to like so check it before they can submit it. So basically people are free to like toggle it on and off depending upon like where the traffic is coming from. So if you are primarily advertising like within the European continent, so make sure you toggle it on so that you're being GDPR compliant. Yes, and suppose if you are focusing on other parts of the world, so it is only optional for them. So yeah.
Okay. More questions. What are some of the biggest cases of this, if you can share? Maybe someone who has live on it, or how you are using it yourself, possibly like one of your flows. I think we are probably looking for practical implementation and how you have done it, or someone else has done it right now. So if you can share something, I think that will be amazing.
Yes, and like now basically, so I would like to say like so our personal yes, like so our personal use case right now is for outreach campaign as well as for sales enablement. So because like we are not like so too high on ads yet. So basically for also outreach campaigns, what we do is like we record a quick 32-second video and followed by a quick introduction about the platform, and then we put in a calendar inside the microsite, and basically we customize the thumbnail for the prospect, so that we are getting anywhere close to like 10 to 20 like so replies for every 100 emails. So like so that is something that has been really working out well when it comes to outreach campaigns, because we use our own product for we use like Leadlabs for outreach campaigns. So yes, and basically for the second thing is like whenever we have interested prospects, so once when they're moved from the lead stage to kind of like the buying stage, so then like we use a kind of like our sales microsite, or we create a deal on Leadlabs. Yes, and where like we put in the proposal documents, we put in the case studies, and then we put in the features they're getting as well as the quotation and so on. And just like this helps our sales team identify like whether they've actually opened that link or not, or just like how many times they're opening it, and just like what is the frequency of them visiting back to the link, so that we do understand whether they're still considering us, or basically whether the deal is at risk or not, depending upon like how they are using it. So basically, like, so we have like a few mid markets as well. So like we do have Zapier, which is an enterprise which is currently testing out a platform for some of their content marketing as well, and seeing if we can actually like so take their ROI from A to B and so on. So we like will keep the community updated on like how that goes as well. Yes, and finally, like mid markets that are using a mainly sales intelligence, because we charge like huge prices for sales intelligence, and basically like so Leadlabs charges about like $30 to $50 per user per month. So when you're charging on a monthly pricing, so basically like which is very affordable when it comes in. Like comes in place for Gong and so on. Yes, and like which is where we are using which is precisely how the other companies are also using Leadlabs.
Will it be possible for you to show it if possible?
Yeah, like, so that would be possible for me to show it, but like without the consent of the company, so I cannot show their sales proposal or like an outreach campaign. Maybe like so I can show.
Yeah, just on your end, like just on your end, like the any one campaign that you are running right now and how effective it has been. That's basically the question,
Oh
not
yeah.
like customers.
Yes, basic. So let me share my screen, and because like so I was just a stock. So I was talking with the founder of Storylane a couple of days ago. So basically, if you saw like so they became the second product of the day on Product Hunt very recently. Where did that go? Yeah. So basically, so the Storylane like founder came in from it's an outreach campaign itself. So like so which is where basically so the founder asked me as to like so how we are doing let's say outreach campaigns like with us because like when we sent it to the sales director, so apparently like their sales director loved it, and so basically like yeah, so basically so the Storylane founder like wanted me to kind of like share the script and so on with them. So kind to like so I was just like sharing the script. So basically we see like so this. Hi Akash, I wanted to make this quick video because I bumped into your website on LinkedIn and had a couple of observations. So yes, what we do is basically kind of like a 50 to 60-second video. So like where we say like so how we found their profile on LinkedIn. So first like we have a nice icebreaker, followed by like a one-liner of the problem statement in the video. Yes, and followed by the third sentence, which is going to be like social proof, followed by how your service would potentially help them. And fourth thing is like we give an option in the CTA by saying, because most people ask them to book a meeting with them directly, but they don't give an option. But like we give an option by saying like, so let me suppose something something particular to which if you'd like to know more, I could share another quick video or maybe hop on a 15-minute meeting at your convenience. So when you're giving them the option to choose the CTA, so that just brings in the psychology, saying so people might either choose, people might just say like, sure, like send over another video. So, and then we send like a micro demo of the product and so on. So we continue to build the conversation from there and so on. So like, which is primarily like so how we have used it for like for our outreach campaigns, primarily.
All right. So all of these videos are like manually recorded. So you have, let's say, like a bunch of 20, 30 leads. You quickly record the video and then you just add them.
Yeah, like so this is for our ABM campaign. So where we manually like record the videos because like these are like high priority accounts. But basically is it a low priority account? So we just do like a personalization using like UTM parameters like I was showing. So basically it's just like a generic video. So where we just don't mention the name or where we don't have the background of the person's kind of like website or kind of like LinkedIn profile in the background. So it's just like a generic video of them about the product and just like taking it from there.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. I think that clarifies a lot of things. And I think with that, we've pretty much covered most of the question. There were a lot other one of them, but I've already written down the answers to them. Let me see, guys. If yeah, so there's one more question coming in. What are the integrated CRMs that are available right now inside the platform?
Okay. Yes. So basically, like, no, so we have like webhooks as well as like Zapier and Pabbly Connect integrations, and like, no, so we are building a native like HubSpot integration currently. So yes, and because of our webhook, Pabbly Connect or Zapier option, so they are free to choose. They're free to like this. They are free to like so use these webhooks or just like say integrate with Zapier or Pabbly to kind of like the CRM of choice. But just based upon more customer feedback, we will be let's say, integrating like CRMs that's on demand. So, but currently we are working on like a HubSpot and like as a Salesforce. But yes, like, but this might not be like top priority for like, SMBs, but just like yeah, like suppose somebody yes, or suppose if like a lot of community members are like using a particular CRM, so do reach out to me on chat and like we'll see like know if we can quickly integrate them as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I think with that, we've pretty much covered most of the questions, but I think we should probably hold one more session more around sales and some of the lead generation strategies, which can be like a top of the layer sort of content strategy that we can possibly recommend to a lot of the users. So I think meanwhile, we would like to thank everyone for joining in. Again, rest of the questions, if anyone has been missed out, do let us know, and you can always reach out to us, and we'll be coming back with another webinar with Vineet, where we'll probably talk about, and I'll probably host this with Vineet, where how we can run ads and things like that. I think what I'll also do is I'll probably set up like one campaign with Leadlabs at PitchGround. We'll try to run an ad budget of like, let's say $200 just to test it out and come back to you guys with a nice real case study, because then you can actually show that as well. You can use it as a part of the case study. And I think that will be pretty brilliant for everyone to actually see how this everything like truly worked out, and how the entire sort of leads and all the lead generation happened and all the sales happened at the same time. Before we go, we need any closing lines before we come back again with this new use case study, probably like by next week.
Oh, so yes, and basically like one line I would say says probably like when we meet for the next time. So it's I will probably be showing like a few more say, interesting features and everything. So which might definitely be like much nicer to like a lot of community members and so on. Yes, and basically if you have any feature requests or like so do go into like the app, you can sign it. So basically, so you can sign up for free. So like, so you get like 2 microsites for free. So you can just play around with it and just see like what you can do with it. Because actually with 2 microsites, you can actually get your ROI back for the $49 plan technically. Yes, like so you can sign up for free and basically like, so do let me know if you need anything else. And like lastly, like, so thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone for taking your time and being a part in this webinar. And just like, so thank you to Udit for just like so hosting this webinar just like so late in the day, like where I am. So it's like so hopefully it's not too late for you where you're staying. So like so it looks like so you are getting some bright sunshine where you are. So you're like fresh in the morning for you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Vineet. With that, we'll be wrapping up and we'll be coming back again next week with another webinar. But this time we'll have an actual case study implemented as well with a small budget being tested. Until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll come back again. The replay would be available right away on YouTube as soon as we end this. So you can always go back, check everything, whatever you want, and take your time, go at the speed that you want. And if you want to go and again check the replay after this, make sure that you use a 1.2 or 1.25 or 1.5x speed. You'll be able to get things a lot faster. With that, we'll be wrapping this up. Thank you so much, Vineet, and we'll be coming back here again with Vineet with another webinar. Until then,